Hola. Buenas noches a todas y a todos y bienvenidos una vez más a la Casa del Diseño, la Central del Diseño de IMAD y a este 10º encuentro de enseñanza y diseño iberoamericano. Muchos de vosotros estáis aquí desde ya toda la tarde, pero para quienes se han apuntado a este encuentro, es un placer cerrar la jornada de hoy con la presencia de Ruedi Baur, aquí con nosotros, y con Martin Chenot, director del Institut Francés, aquí de España, de Madrid. Y yo empiezo un poco en castellano, pero luego Ruedi nos hablará y nos presentará la Scuola del non saber, la Escuela del non sapere en inglés. De todas formas, si queréis, de vez en cuando vamos así metiendo cuña también en castellano. Ante todo, quería presentar a Ruedi, que mucho, imagino, conocen. He's a graphic designer. He works with the connection between graphic and architecture, well known with very beautiful works for the Centre Pompidou in France, the signage of the airport of Cologne and Vienna, and also other graphic work like the New School of Design of New York. And we can say that all the graphic work is strictly connected with the architecture because it's a way to make poetry inside of the space. Is it correct?
Yeah, and to help the architecture.
And to help, sorry?
And to help architecture.
Of course, because architecture maybe sometimes is not so easy to understand. But
in the way to don't make my work alone, but to be in synergy with the architect.
Yes.
That's really something who interests me.
But Ruedi is also strictly connected with social and involvement in the graphic design art that connect people in society with other work, with our work as designers. So it's the starting point for the School of Knowledge, la Scuola del Sapere, that belongs to the Civic City. Can you also explain around Civic City platform?
Yes, so Civic City is an institute of critical research in design. We was in institute in research in Switzerland, in Zurich, and they closed them because it was too political, and they opened institute of bank design. And we decided to make an autonomous institute, so without connection with other institutions, but who are now in connection with many schools and many other artists and designers and architects and urbanists and sociologues and other.
And the School of Knowledge is strictly related with what you make in the city. In the city.
It's related with the society.
Civic City.
Is for me something very important. But now we start a discussion, and I will have chaos with my presentation. But I answer your question.
So let's start about talking about the Scuola del non sapere.
It's very important. For me really this crisis. And we had a little bit this afternoon, I must say, this way to think we can resolve the problems. So this still modernity to say, yeah, it's a new problem, so we resolve the problem, and we go over and over and over. And I'm not sure the problems we have now, ecological mostly, social very important, cultural, again, racism, fascism, and all this element. I'm not sure we can resolve it only with the continuation of the element we do before. So for me, and this is a little bit the end of my long time of teaching, is to say we have to accept that we don't know. And that's the start of the project. Yeah. But you asked me to present some of my work, so I will not make, I just will present two projects who has something to do with school, and this is, like you say, a ping pong with an architect in Barranquilla, in Colombia. So for me, is also a little bit connection with you. To say is la Fábrica de la Cultura in Barranquilla, and this Fábrica de la Cultura is a very, how can you say, a very minimal, brutalist architecture, and who the architect accepts that I do the job of the emotion. So he give me the floor in front of the building, and he give me the inside, the verticality, and the stair. So a kind of introduction is this element. So very short, I will not, but this is this kind of element. Why this eyes? Because the concept of this Scuola della Fábrica della Cultura is to say we take in the center the carnival, the culture of the carnival. And I like this idea to say we don't make as all the other schools, but we accept that we are in Barranquilla, something very special is a carnival, and this carnival is very creative, and why not say we go from this point and we construct an art and design and other school on the base of carnival, textile, music, and other expression. So very quick, how can we make a public space only with graphic? And how can you make this ceremony of entrance in the school on base of element, also the identity, as a sign system, and every time this relation at white rooms, and you see on this this element. So, and I like because now the students are there, and it's come to be a kind of fiesta. And the other is something very special. I decided to work on parkings, because parkings are, I think, a kind of summum of disorientation. In parking, you don't have the, you don't see the orient, you don't see the stern, you don't see, you are afraid, so you are in a situation of disorientation. And what after analyze we see is we are in a situation who is not so dangerous as often we think, and so how can we bring our Hirn in another category, and to say we confront us with other things as or it's possible that happens this and this. So we decide to make schools. Each parking we do in Strasbourg are schools, and this is a parking of Gutenberg, the famous start of the typography of the, and we make a parking you can visit it and see 500 different fonts. So each place of parking is one font, and we explain the author from when it is, and when the person has write something, we make a citation. So it's for each place has something to do with one character. So it's a school.
A way to remember where the car is.
Absolutely, yeah. Has also to
¿Quién se ha perdido alguna vez en un parking? Levante la mano. En el centro comercial de aquí al lado. We need your work here in Madrid because it's totally common to lose.
So it's a kind of joke with this situation, and to bring this situation more in another way, in a cultural way. And it's true that never you have so many places as in a parking. So we can use also this place to do other things. This is another school, is also a parking. Huh? So I present you, this is a school of color. So we decide to make a school of color in a parking. So the first action was to say, this place was a floor. Huh? So this was a 5-level floor, and we take away the floor. So we reduce a little bit the quantity of cars, but we bring natural light in it, and we make a kind of situation of. So each level has one topic, and we explain what is color. So it's very simple, and the children come to have lecture about color. So it's This is the last work I'll do, so it's a very, for me, a new situation. How can we? And it's not expensive. It's just painting. Huh? So it's what I bring is painting. So, but I'm not coming to speak about this. I'm coming to speak about this Scuola del non sapere. And my idea is to ask you to be part of this project. It's a very special project who we start in 23. But before, if I follow the presentation, what is teaching, we have two ways to teach. We can say, I know, the other don't know, so I transmit my knowledge, who is a permanent knowledge, or I say I bring the student in question, I learn them to reflect. So I bring them in a way to be with me, with the teacher, in a reflection about our life and other things. So the learning of reflection is a little bit this idea of not knowledge. So it's not knowledge to be boring or to don't know in the boring thing. Is really more this idea to say all the researchers don't know. They don't know something who is the goal of our research. So it's we forget some elements. Huh? So our society forget what is fascism. They forget the terrible things. It's absolutely not possible that I'm each day so scandalous. So I don't understand who is possible that person after what happened in the Second War repeats the same, and so they forget. And then there are some things who, will not that we know. So society will not that we know. There are forgotten cultures, there are elements who come to be again in importance and was forgotten in the history. So there are many, many elements. And in the way of conception is very, very interesting to say, I take on the center not what I know, not the reference of the other, but I learn to forget this reference and to start again on the essential point. So that's a little bit the center of our approach of this not knowledge. Was a story was started in 2023 with the first presence of Institut Français in Milano, but also Institut Français General, because it was a competition about the French pavilion in this exhibition in the Triennale of Milano, and we was second, it was not first, and they do another French pavilion as what we propose. We propose something very, very simple. It was an archive of not knowledge. So a little bit this first idea to say we have to understand what we don't know. That was this proposition. And it was fantastic because Institut Français of Milano decided to say, okay, we don't have the same budget as the pavilion, but we can help you to start the conception of these panels, and we make an exhibition of the panels. This was in 23. A little bit more as 1 year. We start with a seminary in Milano, and we end one semester of work with many universities in Italy, but also in Poland, in Madagascar, and many in France, to make an exhibition in January of this year in Milano. And this exhibition was a little bit going on.
Sorry, but can you explain a little bit more about the workshop and then the exhibition? Because I think is the key of the whole project.
So the workshop was interdisciplinary workshop. You will find all this on Civic City, city.org. And non-sapere, if you will go directly. So the seminary was a meeting with many students and many thinkers about this point of non-sapere. And we decide on this point, we discuss 3 days or 4 days about what is our not knowledge in architecture, in product design, but also in medicine, in what is, if we think alternative medicine, what are starting this not knowledge, what are in physics, what are in we had China's Kung Fu, no, not Kung Fu, Tai Chi or something like that, maestro, and he speak about energy. Energy is something, it's really difficult to have knowledge about energy, but it's truths, they are existing. So there are many elements who in our society are not topics, but are very important and largest part of our initiative and cultures of any person. This was the start, and many professors, a little bit like you, was there and was listening, and then each of these professors work with her student free. They can give the topic, and there was very different experience of 1 semester, experience of 2 months, and from time to time experience of one week. When you say 1 week, give a topic, because in other case, it's not possible for the student. So this was the element, and at the end, because this is the minimal regel we give, is to have a pedagogical panel. But I will present this after. So the way to present is one format, a very simple format, and you have on the top for each poster the question, so what is the topic, what is the question. On the base you have the name of the student, and on the base on the other side you have your school. So each time you have the reproduction, you have also the assurance that the author is part of the reproduction. This is the exhibition we have in the moment in Lisboa, in a subway station, with the result of 300 it's not poster panels. Huh? It's, for me, it's important. It's not a poster, it's a panel in the way that the function is that the teacher can start a narration, start to explain something about this topic of not knowledge. And this contradiction is really what I like in this project, is to say we have tools who are pedagogical tool in the way, or in the classical way, we will see the explication of the co and other elements, but we use it to explain something we don't know. And this is a very important returning. And this will say also the communication is not a communication about, it's not an affirmation, it's not this is like this, but start to say it's a possibility, or we don't know, or this, there are many hypotheses, or like we see this afternoon, is complex. These elements.
In this case, the topic for Lisbon, can you tell us?
So the first year was without topic. So the schools give topics. And we had more or less language. We have many contribution about migration coming from Italy. So it was very more free. We make a second, in the moment, a second step, who is a little bit a continuation of the first, and who is ending, and this is perhaps also important for you, the 1st and the 2nd February in the CNAM in Paris. It's a museum of, it's a very, how can we say, it's not traditional, but a very affirmative museum, because it's a museum of engineering. And we enter in this school and in this museum with questions. And they accept this. It's very interesting, because it's a little, so that's what I say before, is how can we go out of this culture of affirmation to come to the culture of and why non sapere? This I explain a little bit. This panel, you will find it in the explain this situation, this many situation who we are saying, it's true, we know this, but we forget it, or other situation, you cannot, you are not in age to know this, or so there are, with the knowledge, there are many confrontations who are very interesting. And this was 2 other panels about war. This one explain a little bit how you come from the peace and how easy it's stay in peace, but when you start to be in not war, a return to peace is more difficult, and when you are in war is really so this question about war and peace also in the vocabulary of peace. I think Chinese are better in the vocabulary of peace. We think often it's naive to speak about harmony, to speak about and this. Yeah. So this is the format, and you will find in the website all the elements is a PDF. You can use it with Noto, who is an open source script. You have all the measure, and so it's easy to work. And each of your students can do project. It's not the idea to make one project for one school. You can make groups, or you can open it at each student. So this was a little bit the introduction. We cannot only transmit what we know, this knowledge we stabilize it, but also we have to understand and to understand the elements who are in incomprehension. There are different books about this, and these are the models of the historical models of these panels. This is transmission of knowledge. So the core, you see the core, so you see the skeleton of the, you see the intestine, and this make it a little bit different as a panel. So it's the start of a narration for a pedagogue, for somebody who will explain it. And you will see it's not easy for a designer to go from this idea of poster, of one idea, and to something who say, okay, I have different consideration. I look the same element in different way. Is also something who is interesting. I go quick about this, yeah.
Because the idea is to represent visually the topic.
Absolutely.
Only visually, with the infographics or?
Mostly visually, you can, not text.
Okay.
You can have little text, like it is here. So you can explain elements, but it's not, the visuality is the first element.
And why there's no words that explain this complexity or this knowledge?
That's a challenge. That's really the challenge, is to say, are the pictures able to explain, and are the picture also able to not, when you make a visualization, to say, oh, it's true. So how the picture can give these possibilities of, and we know the problem of pictures. I can enter a little bit more, but in the moment in the humanistic research, we say the picture is so strong that he influenced the concept. So if we will be neutral, we have to make different representation. And so the person who looks the element can say, it's possibly this or it's possibly this. So how can we enforce the person who look and to bring it to make that he stay in reflection, not he learn. He accept what the pictures say. This is one poster. I must say it's very simple. It's not so, from the graphic, not so, but explain really this point of the representation. It's the representation of our planet. Before this picture you see on the right, it was an imagination. So it was calculate, it was, but we don't see it. So in the 60s of the last century comes this picture who say mostly is a blue planet. This was not so sure before. This was something new. And all the picture you see here are construction. So construction before we know. And then, and this is also a possibility you have, is what happened after. So after you can say, okay, there are one picture and I repeat this picture, or I start to give other kind of representation. So it was this idea also to turn the planet, and was the idea to say, I construct other imagination, or I bring other vision of process and all other things. So this is interesting for me to explain. One possibility is to make a panel recto verso. And if you remember your teacher, often he explained something in one side, and when he was a little bit tired, or when we was tired, he turned it and start again. So this element interests me. I think it's a good dynamic. And this point of this confrontation with the representation. So I go very quick on this different pictures, different researches. So you see just, and you will find all the pictures on the website. You see the topics are different, and the point of representation are very different. They speak about cotton, the distribution of the cotton, and the language about cotton, the name in the word, or local dialects, multiculturality, multilinguality, or relation from places and language and names, or other things. So I go all very more expressive elements, or diagrams, who I think this is a very interesting poster, who you have in the same time this emotional dimension and the infographic, who say from where the sclaves are going around the world. So it's in the same time information and element. This is very more, is the same topic, is the topic of slavery, and he take in the center the sugar and say what was the consequence of this economy of sugar on this society and other things. Huh? I go quick because I think it's more interesting. One of the very interesting panels was about, so some are about sciences, about culture and sciences. Many was about what mean when you lose your knowledge. So the medical situation of losing knowledge, with some very, very interesting project who are going out. And this was, all these panels we see now was the consequence of a 2 weeks very intensive workshop. So it's also possible to do it in short time. They invite neuroscientists at the start of the workshop, and then they start to work in visuality in a very interesting way. The question of what happened after and other. About emotion, about banking. Yeah, I go quick because yeah.
A question from Gloria.
Okay.
What courses in which faculty and years are made this
So
kind of project?
it's in between first year of art schools or design schools to doctor level. So they are absolutely different.
Cross,
Yeah.
I see.
So, and you see the difference not so much in visuality, but in the topic, in the complexity of the topic. This is a very nice representation of identity. How can you represent identity not as I am this, but how mixture? I know that in Brazil is something when you know somebody new, you say, what are your mixture? And I like this idea to say you are a composition of different elements. So to forget this idea of identity is one thing, is identity is a relation, is something very complex.
So in this case, is the task of the teacher, what happened with the teacher in this
So this
kind of workshop?
was a workshop we do this summer with Vera, my wife, in Frankfurt, and the topic was intersectionality. So we give one topic, intersectionality, so what means this? And the student was a little bit stressed about this, so they choice elements was not so directly confronted with this. So it's not, at one point it's interesting also to know what the student has to express. So I prefer give one topic to help, to guide, but then to say, okay, if it is, you can also speak about this. This is my approach, but other can do it. This is many things about migration, very interesting works. How can you express this point of about gender? So you have here one example of one woman make at first this central picture and then make an installation, body installation about this work. So it's interesting. Also, you can extend it. Huh? You can then make a book about this. You can. So it's just a start. That's a Polish school who is very about information design in the classical way, and other things. The history, durability. So this will have a little bit to do with my proposition. Frontier, that's very European topic, piece. All the posters are not fantastic. Huh? I don't say we have 500. It's a very, very difficult project. So it's also, this is about seeing what happens, this malady of seeing. This is about Alzheimer's, the representation of Alzheimer in the Google. So I think a very interesting point, because you see the contradiction in between the way that we represent this element and other of this. This I like also is what you have from time to time in your eyes. When you close the eyes, you have these little particles. What are these elements we see when we close the eyes? So, and other elements. So you see, we work a lot about social problems, political problems, and the idea is 24 to start a new appel, a new ask at different school, and to construct it from and sorry for my not knowledge about Spanish. to start it about in Madrid and in South America in Spanish, and to speak about the not knowledge in ecology. And what really interests me in your meeting, and who for me could be really a topic, because you know the different schools and all this, is also the difference of approach of or reception of this ecology in the rich country like Madrid, and in parts who are more retired, more. So what is the difference of approach of ecology in the different countries of South America and the Iberic country? You will be the center, but we will invite all the world. So it's not that exclusive. So the 30 schools who was part in the first year will be also invited. We have now also Indian schools, and very interesting. So this individual and collective not knowledge about our future, about different topics, can be really where go my plastic bottle, or more essential. More, it's not, that's not essential, it's absolutely essential, but you can enter from the top, or you can enter from a little detail.
So it's one topic, but you can see this topic with a different perspective.
Yeah.
And every school can...
Every school can decide something more specific. You are absolutely free to approach this element in your way, in your to construct this on your way. That's the idea.
So it's an invitation to take part to this project.
Absolutely.
And the Institut Français will help to...
So we are not closing the project of the end, but the end will be at your next manifestation, I think. Yeah. So November or later of next year. And so you have 1 year. You can be in contact with us. We are. It's important to send.
It's a challenge for the next edition of the encounter of. Para el próximo encuentro nos lanza este reto.
And this picture is a picture Martin used in Morocco. He was a lead of the Institut Français in Morocco, and make an exhibition of my work in the time of COVID. And this main saying, but what is the problem?
In English or en castellano. Bueno, sí, bueno, muchas gracias por invitarme, y bueno, por parte del Instituto Francés estoy aquí más o menos para soportar este proyecto que me gusta mucho. Hemos trabajado con Ruedi hace unos años en este proyecto de presentar o de dibujar y explicar lo que pasa con la pandemia en el día a día, en lo que cambie la pandemia sobre la organización de la sociedad, sobre la política y todo.
Was an exhibition in Madrid in the Museum of Art Deco, also the same, huh?
Also, yeah. Y cuando me ha hablado del nuevo proyecto que ha hecho en Milano, la Escuela del non saber, bueno, me parece una idea muy interesante, porque permite de hacer el vínculo entre los que saben de las universidades, de los profesores, de ¿por qué no los políticos y todo? Los que enseñan o que enseñan a enseñar o que enseñan a transmitir y a presentar las cosas y la gente. Bueno, y así que, bueno, nos parece interesante de ver cómo este proyecto que ha empezado en Milano con un espacio cultural muy largo, puede venir en el espacio español o en el espacio latinoamericano y en un tema que a nosotros nos parece muy importante, que es el tema de la ecología y del cambio climático. ¿Esto por qué? Porque hacemos desde el Instituto Francés de Madrid y de España un proyecto desde este año que se llama Otoño Verde, que es un tiempo de programación sobre la transición, sobre las soluciones más que los problemas o las soluciones también y los problemas. Y hacemos esto desde el cinema, desde exposiciones, desde encuentros, literatura y todo. Bueno, así que estamos aquí con una red de 6 institutos franceses en España, pero también el apoyo de la embajada, de la red de los liceos franceses y de las alianzas francesas aquí en España, y nos parece interesante apoyar el proyecto y ver con vosotros, con las escuelas de design que quieran participar, cómo podemos hacer que el proyecto sea más grande y que después, utilizando la fuerza y la red de los institutos franceses a través del mundo, podemos difundir un poco más este trabajo, porque hay como 100 institutos franceses en todo el mundo, y así que, bueno, a escuchar, a ver y a acompañar como podemos.
I forget one point, which is for me also very, very important, is this moment of exhibition is not only exhibition, is a moment of exchange of the student. So each time we organize a long meeting, from time to time is 2 days, who each student has the possibility to present his work at all the other, and it's a fantastic moment to the students start to connect. Huh? So this idea also to say we are the world. The second element we discussed a little bit yesterday is probably we will at this moment also make an element who we construct for different topics, but is a 24 hours emission who is a word turn about the topic we will work. So you will be part also of a word emission of 24 hours of radio or video about this topic, and who we can, with scientists, with really open a discussion.
And there will be a platform to show this?
Yeah. So Civic City.org, you find our you find one capital about non sapere, so you will find many elements. We just make a little entrance in the site. So when you enter in non sapere, you will find this actuality, this kind of actuality. So there we will also, if you officially say I will be part, you will enter on the website. Then you have a call for entry, a project design. So you have here also the chronology of the first step, second step, and you are the third step. So it's, and then you see all the poster, you see the teams, you see, so you have all the explication of this element. You find all this on this Civic City element. Next. Yeah. We have also one part who's naming reflection, who we have different discussion we do with philosopher and other scientists. You can make also interviews, and we take it on the website, so also for your student. I cannot do it in Spanish, so somebody has to do it for me. And next. And you find also you will can you go on the top? Sorry, you will find also this workshop with the different school. So you will also, if you have an event, we can enter on to explain a little bit what happened in your project. Now you can, yeah, it's okay. I think it's enough. Yeah.
Entiendo entonces que nosotros podemos compartir con todos los centros participantes en el encuentro. We can share with all the schools and universities that have participated here this call, esta convocatoria, yeah, para que ellos participen y, si me autorizan, pasar también contactos de las escuelas para que podáis inscribir y consultar y hacer de esto.
You can go via Gloria and your institute and or directly by the Civic City.
Listo, ya haremos alguna convocatoria un poco más formal para dar pie a esto, y muchísimas gracias al instituto, porque eso, pueden contar con esta casa realmente para que es el espacio, eso no solo de los profesionales, sino de los estudiantes y las escuelas, que es un poco nuestro objetivo, ¿no? O sea que formalizaremos esto de alguna manera, esta invitación a la que estamos muy agradecidos.
No sé si hay alguna cuestión, si ha quedado en el aire alguna cuestión, ¿no? I just ask if somebody,
sure.
Alguien que ya quiere apuntarse a que no sabe lo que sabe, pero quiere saber lo que no sabe. Bueno, muchas gracias. Thank you very much.
Thanks also. Thanks.
Merci. Bueno, ahora tenemos, es que Gloria quiere protagonismo, como